Hello everyone, your girl Tay here, and I'm bringing you another Let's Talk Wild podcast episode. Today is May 23rd, 2024, and this is episode 62, The Tales of the Orange Cats We Love. All cats are cats, but not all cats are orange cats. They come in all shapes, sizes, and forms, but one thing they all have in common, besides being orange of course, is their unique personality. For this episode, I'll discuss the tales of different orange cats in animation, movies, and in real life. But before we get into that, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Sign up to become a podcast member. You could go to my podcast website on Buzzsprout to sign up. I'll have the link in the description box. Also, hit to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos over there. Once you're done listening over here, you guys already know the drill. Now, let's talk wild. I'm a cat person, so of course I've crossed paths with multiple different types of cats, including orange cats. And those cats is just something about those orange cream pop colored, ginger colored cats that just fill me with so much joy. The way they carry themselves is just, I don't know. It's just something about those orange cats. And clearly because they have their own podcast episode dedicated to them, right? I know Tom from Baltimore. He is a well-known cat, living his best feral cat life. We also had Killer. He was the unofficial mayor of Baltimore City and was loved by everyone. He was found as a kitten at Coppin State University. A friend of his mom, Joy. Hey, Joy, if you ever hear this. Hey, she was asked to foster him, and she loved him so much that she kept him. And he was an indoor cat for several years, but his mom finally let him go outside, and he would roam the Hampton area, meeting new people and eating great food, okay? He loved a good meal. And everybody fed him. They didn't mind, feeding him. Unless his mom said, listen, don't give him this. He doesn't need to eat this. But other than that, he was loved and taken care of, He was picked up by animal control once for allegedly being neglected and having missing teeth. However, his veterinarian recommended the total removal of his teeth to help with his cardiac surgery and his health. I remember changing his bedding at the animal hospital because I worked at the animal hospital that he would come into, and he never liked that. He would hiss at all the doctors, hiss at all the vet techs, and I would just have these long conversations with him while I'm like changing his litter box and changing his bedding, and he would just hiss at me. And I didn't care. He would hiss and I would just continue to talk to him like, Killer, please, you don't even have no teeth. You can't bite me. I mean, you could try to swat me, but he never did. He just was very vocal and just like, look, don't touch my stuff. I don't want you touching my stuff. But I'm like, sir, I have to clean your litter box. I got to give you some new sheets and stuff, give you some food, some fresh food and water. Like, don't you want the food? Once you gave him the food, he was just like, cool. He was straight. But unfortunately, Killer passed away on May 21st, 2020. Wow. And this podcast is being recorded a day after of his passing. I'm recording the day before and posting this episode on the 23rd, but I'm recording on the 22nd. But wow. So may he rest in peace. Wow. Divine timing. Great way to remember his memory and legacy, but he passed away due to old age and medical issues, but he left an amazing orange cat legacy. He's won awards and had beautiful art made in his honor, paintings, murals, and even art from his bones. Yes, his bones. According to his IG page, when Killer moved on to another dimension, his people took him to a taxidermist in Cecil County. There, his body was placed in a tank of dermestid beetles who over the course of a few months cleaned his bones to be bright white. At that point, he was ready to become little keepsakes for us to remember him by. The bones we given to a talented local artist for use Kindle from butterfly bones, created and sold jewelry and ornaments made from killers' lovely bones. It seemed only right to preserve that amazing cat and make him into keepsakes for his fans. A donation will be made to Bark's Animal Shelter for each piece sold, matched by his mom, Joy, and Mammoth Realty. So, wow. Some people in the comments was not feeling the bones being used as keepsakes, but listen, that was her cat, and if that's the way she want people to remember him, having a little piece of his bone, so be it. I don't need killer's bone, a little t-shirt that got his little picture on there, something like that. That's cool for me, but I'm not knocking anybody that wanted to, have a little keepsake, which, was from his bone, so be it. Like I said, orange cats have so much personality, and creators have showcased the personality well with these animated orange cats. Thomas O'Malley from the Aristocats, okay, bars, he put that smooth talking street cat charm on that rich cat Duchess and became a stepdaddy to her 3 kittens, okay? I mean, he didn't like that she already had kids. But if the girl is worth it and the kids are lovable, which they were, I mean, are you going to turn them down? Now, Duchess did initially turn down his marriage proposal, but look, that's a good man. That's a good man, Duchess. Okay? Not that's a good man, Savannah. No, that's a good man, Duchess. And that's a good woman, O'Malley. They got it together, though. They got it together, and O'Malley eventually ended up living the good life with Duchess and the kittens. I mean, Father's Day is coming up, so shout out to all the stepdaddies and step cat daddies. Puss in Boots from Shrek. I've always read about Puss in Boots in my fairy tale books as a kid, but in Shrek 2, the creators took the character and gave him life. Yes, he wasn't that boring cat really from the fairy tale books anymore. He had just so much more personality that I loved it so much. I love it. Like, I live for the writers that came up with his personality, his voice, his story, just everything about Puss in Boots is just amazing, right? Like, he's giving big orange cat energy, okay? And I love it. I love it. He is one of my favorite animated characters ever. He was hired by King Harold, Fiona's father, to kill Shrek and Donkey, but he was unsuccessful. He eventually just, became their friend and tagged along, doing their adventures and stuff like that. So, one of my favorite scenes was when he was getting arrested and one of the knights found some catnip on him, and he's like, "That's not mine." Like, I was like, the movies back then used to just have the adult segments in there where the adults would catch what it was saying. So basically it was supposed to be like, a bag of weed, but it's like catnip or whatever. So it was hilarious. Like, I was old enough to understand what it was. So it was funny to me, like, Sir Knights, okay? No one should be in jail for weed or catnip. Just like, relax. And I think they chose the perfect person to voice act him as well. Antonio Banderas. That smooth voice he did well, so well, that I think that Antonio, if he were reincarnated, he would be an orange cat. Definitely. Before we get into the next clouder of cats, if you guys didn't know, a group of cats is called a clouder. Learn something new every day. I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the Let's Talk Wild podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Also, subscribe to the Let's Talk Wild YouTube channel for all celebrity animal interaction videos and quick animal news topics, okay? Now, let's crawl back into the show. Cue the animals. Next up, we have the most famous orange cat of them all, Garfield. He was created by Jim Davis and named after Jim's grandfather. Garfield was born on June 19th, 1978 in the kitchen of Mama Leone's Italian restaurant, which is also the first day that the Garfield comic strip was published. Now, growing up in an Italian restaurant, he developed a love for lasagna, which would become his favorite food. And because he had a large appetite, it caused major issues for the owner of the restaurant, and he had to choose between giving away Garfield or closing down his restaurant. He decided to sell Garfield to a pet shop, and he was eventually adopted from the shop by John Arbuckle on August 19th, 1978. And the rest is history. He has had so many adventures, so many different animations made of him, not to mention the comics, or the funnies is what I call them. I still love comics. I remember being at my grandparents' house and rushing to get the newspaper to get the comic section. Garfield was one of my favorites. He was an orange cat with an attitude, and he did what he wanted. And he loved food, lasagna in particular, which I also love. I love Italian food in general, though. So I'm thinking now, did Garfield influence me to like Italian cuisine more? Thinking about it right now, yes, he did. I trusted Garfield and Jim Davis's opinions, okay? Just a small comic strip. I, trusted them with my food choices. But now Garfield has a new movie coming out this Memorial Day weekend called the Garfield movie. He is reunited with his long-lost father, Vic, and Garfield and his dog brother, Odie, are forced to join Vic on a risky heist. Not his father coming back, getting them all into this criminal activity. Absolutely not. But I guess just in time for Father's Day, the dad cats are here. I'm excited to see the movie because I love Garfield, no matter what form he takes, from paper to the big screen. That leads us to some orange cats that have won us over on TV and in the movies. Whether you have to protect the world from evil witches, wizards, zombies, or aliens, the orange cat has been proven to be a great companion to help protect you and save the world. Crookshanks, Hermione Granger's cat in Harry Potter, was an intelligent magical beast whose appearance is a cat. He can detect bad people, see through disguises, and solve problems independently. Skidmark from AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, the trusty companion of Daniel Salazar, he helped disable traps, distracted, and killed zombies. Spot from Star Trek The Next Generation, Data's cat. She helped save the crew from a synthetic T-cell airborne infection. She gave birth to her kittens on the ship, but they were unaffected by the infection. Data and Picard realized that Spot's placenta helped protect the kittens. So Data got the idea to develop a cure using the amniotic fluid from Nurse Alyssa, who was pregnant at the time. Orion from Men in Black, the pet cat to Gentle Rosenberg of the Arquilian alien royal family. Orion was the protector of the Arquilian galaxy. It was hidden on his collar, which was named Orion's Belt, a double entendre also meaning the constellation Orion's Belt. It's clear the orange cats have their paws in Hollywood, but why wasn't Spot spayed on the ship? Okay, Star Trek, all of that technology, and y'all couldn't spay and neuter the cats, just going to these different planets, finding these cats and not fixing them up. Look, the Enterprise said they can afford their cats. None of them are ending up in a shelter, okay? They said spay and neuter. We ain't doing that. We got enough coin on this spaceship, okay, to take care of all these cats and they kittens. But I will remind you guys to make sure you guys spay and neuter your pets, okay? Yes. And Skidmark, his life was crazy. You're just a cat, being a cat, living a regular cat's life, and then out of nowhere, the world changes and you're running from and killing zombies. Like, what? Okay, that's what we doing today. Okay, whatever. Now for Orion, I love the double entendre. It was so dope to me. Whoever thought about that in the writing room, honey, I salute you, because I love that. Like, it was such a shock to me when I watched the movie. Like, oh my goodness. Like, okay, the cat's name Orion. If you know you're an alien, you wouldn't call like your cat's collar a collar. You would call it, they would think it was like a belt, right? A belt for a pet or something like that, right? So the galaxy is on the collar, which the aliens would consider like, call it a belt. I don't know. It's just so cool. But it also actually really means the real constellation, Orion's belt. Like, I love it. So shout out to the writers that thought of that. Okay, give you your 10s for that. Absolutely. Now, I said at the beginning of the podcast that all cats are cats, but not all cats are orange cats. It rings true even more now that we heard the tales of these cats. But you guys let me know how you feel about today's topic, the tales of the orange cats we love. Make sure you guys comment, follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Don't forget that you can now support the podcast by joining the monthly membership subscription. You could go to my podcast website on Buzzsprout to sign up. I'll have the link in the description box. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, okay, if you're watching on YouTube. And check out my videos, shorts, and playlists of all things animals. Make sure you guys love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals, and of course, the orange cats. I'll talk to you guys soon.